Good afternoon. My name is Dean Bosnikov, and I'll be presenting on behalf of the Carpenters Union Local 1985 and our Millwrights Local 1021. We just wanted to do a short presentation for you guys today and discuss a little bit about your potential future in one of maybe our aspiring trades in this province. If you want to pay attention, I have a short little video for you guys to watch here, and we will discuss more further after the video. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amanda. I am a business representative with the Prairie Arctic Regional Council of Carpenters. We do cover Manitoba, Saskatchewan, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut. I am personally based out of the Regina office, and we're going to go through this video and outline some of the things that our tradespeople do with our local unions that are with Prairie Arctic Regional Council. What you're seeing right now is a job that was actually done in Winnipeg, but it's a really good example of the average construction job that you might see. We've got lots of scaffolding there for the other trades to work off of to do their job safely. The orange stuff you see is tarp that we use to hoard stuff in with. There's also white tarp. The orange is more heat protective. It's insulated tarp, and a lot of the welders and millwrights use heated areas to do their specific type of work. There's a lot of concrete work that has been done on this project. This was actually a very interesting project. It is the Human Rights Museum in Winnipeg, which is the only human rights museum in Canada. It was built in 2014. And that's one of the things that our membership has pride in doing. We put together things that are going to be standing for a really long time and things that become part of history. This Human Rights Museum is a big part of our history, and it's remarkable that it took until 2014 for us to have something like this in Canada. Here you can see workers doing some rigging. They have pre-assembled some pieces. There's a little bit of carpentry work in this, a little bit of millwright work in this piece that has been pre-assembled. And these guys are specially trained to rig this material for the crane to hoist it. This is a lot of safety work behind this to make sure that everything is done properly and that nothing is going to fail, because that is a lot of weight on that crane right there, and it would be very disastrous if it wasn't hooked up properly and fell. All of our members have access to take training courses like the rigging course at no cost to them, and that is because the contractors that our union members work for pay a certain amount of money into their training funds that allows our members to take safety training at no cost. And there's also eligibility for apprenticeship tuition reimbursement, which is very important when you're going to school. Pardon me, when you're going to school for your trade, you do have to pay tuition to get a spot in the class. But the carpenters and scaffolders understand how important it is to have that tuition reimbursed. The millwrights do not do tuition reimbursement, but they do have other benefits with their training. They do pay training if you have to come from far away to take training at the training facility. They do cover your travel costs for the day, so they have different perks than the carpenters do. But the main part of it is that we value safety training, and it is very important, and we make sure that our members have the right training and the ability to get the right training. So you'll see these guys are connecting this piece of equipment to the concrete wall that was previously poured. Again, this is a little bit of everybody working together, all the different trades, carpenters, scaffolders, and millwrights. As a union member with us, you do have to pay union initiation fee, which is $40 per level, and you do also have to pay monthly union dues, which is $25 per month. Those are all tax deductible, so you submit those receipts when you do your taxes at the end of the year, and you do get money back for that. The video that we are now looking at is millwrights. These two millwrights are both happen to be females. We do have a small percentage of females in our trade. It just so happens they were the ones available for this video. We do have lots of different millwrights, and they are very, very busy. This last couple of years, our millwrights have been jumping from job to job. They finish a job and they get to go right on the next job because there has been such a high demand for them. The millwrights do work in the commercial, the industrial, and the agriculture sector. Lots of different plants like the coal plants, the potash plants, lots of agriculture stuff has come up lately, all kinds of different stuff. A millwright is technically termed as an industrial mechanic. So they do a lot of machine work, a lot of pumps, a lot of mills, a lot of very fine work. The millwrights local in Saskatchewan is local 1021. They also do some welding, which is the next thing in this video. The millwright apprenticeship is 4 years. It is currently done through Sask Polytech here in Saskatchewan. There is also a welding apprenticeship that is, I believe, 4 years. Our millwrights go through their millwright apprenticeship first, and then if they want to, they are definitely encouraged to get their CWB welding tickets. We do have a setup for the Saskatoon shop that people can come in and practice their welding and get CWB certified. Lots of the job calls for the millwrights, they do ask for millwrights that also can weld so that those people are more versatile and they can use them in several different ways rather than hiring someone that's a millwright and then someone separate that is a welder. Sometimes the millwrights do require people that are just welders, but most of the time the millwrights do want people that are actively being a millwright in their apprenticeship and then also do some welding. The millwrights local 1443 sticker that you see is the Manitoba local. So with that being said, all of our members are members of an international organization called the United Brotherhood of Carpenters. We do cover the United States and Canada and also most recently Puerto Rico. There are opportunities for our members to work in other areas. When we are short on carpenters or scaffolders and millwrights for a project here in Saskatchewan, for example, K+S or even Chinook power station that was built in Swift Current recently, we do contact the other areas like Manitoba and Alberta and Ontario to see if they have workers that want to come here. And then the same thing vice versa. BC is going to be very busy, and at one point they're going to run out of people over there to work, so they're going to come to us and say, do you have anybody that wants to come to BC and work? Alberta this year has had quite a few positions open, and we have had lots of members go to Alberta to work. So there is opportunity for travel and working all over the place within the United Brotherhood of Carpenters. What we're watching now is scaffolders. Right now it looks like they're tearing down a scaffold that was built. It is work at heights. It is a very fun job. That's where my background is scaffolding. And it's very unique in that you get to kind of come up with your own designs and build your own things. It is one of the few trades that is not followed by a blueprint. There are rules and guidelines that have to be followed, but you are essentially coming up with your own design and getting to be creative. It's kind of like Connects. I don't know if kids still play with that, but when I was a kid there was a Connect set and it was a bunch of sticks and things that you stuck together, and this is basically what scaffolding is. Huge safety component in it though, of course, and things have to be done very carefully. Scaffolding work is very common.
Hey, welcome back. After that short little promo video there showing some of the aspects of our trades that we deal with, some of the on-site footage that we had taken, this can kind of give you an idea of what we do in some of our provinces or areas of work. If you're going to be joining us as the Carpenters Hall, you may be looking at traveling on the road, dealing more heavy construction on the industrial side of things. Or if you stick with some of the commercial or residential stuff, you could be home every night or home every weekend, depending on where the project is. Most of the time, the smaller end projects like that are located fairly close to, larger city centers and stuff like that, whereas our industrial ones can take you out into the middle of nowhere from time to time. No matter what avenue you seem to choose, we, as the Carpenters Union, we would hold your apprenticeship and put you through a 4-year apprenticeship, depending on what trade you decide to pick. With the scaffolding, it is 4 years and 7 weeks out of that year, each of which you would need to take a layoff. You can collect EI while there. With our scaffolding, it is 4 years, 3 weeks at a time, and millwrighting 4 years, 8 weeks at a time. We recommend that you get your grade 12, finish your high school prior to becoming a tradesperson, because it'll just make your post-secondary training that much easier. If you're registered as an apprentice under us, then we would financially take care of just about everything. You have to pay your initial seat fee. Once completion and you've passed, we reimburse that money back to you. So you're not out any money, which is a big help compared to, say, most university courses where you have to take out large student loans or maybe try harder and get a bursary. Whatever you choose for an avenue, it's still going to cost you money in the long term. The training for us, once you're actually employed, then we'd look after all your safety training as well, so you can actually apply for the different jobs that are out there, everything from your forklift training to zoom boom training, aerial lifts, fall pro training, confined space, and whatever specialty one-offs that you may need. We would take care of that or look after that for you. You just come see us. As a member of our local unions, it's free of charge, provided you're working for us. If there's going to be a bit more information by my counterpart, Amanda. She will give her portion of the presentation. And if you have any further questions about training, don't hesitate to contact myself down at the Carpenters Union. It'll be at www.myparc, that's myparc.ca. My contact's in there. Yeah, feel free to reach out and ask any questions related to training. Thank you for your time, and I hope you have a good day.
Hello again, this is Amanda. Thank you very much, Dean, and thank you, students, for staying with us. I'm going to be going through this slideshow now, and some of it is information that Dean or I have already mentioned, but here we go. We are the United Brotherhood of Carpenters and Joiners of America, or the UBC for short. The main website for our international organization is carpenters.org. Our website for Prairie Arctic Regional Council of Carpenters, covering Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Northwest Territories, and Nunavut, is myparc.ca. We also have Facebook and Instagram accounts for Prairie Arctic Regional Council, as well as each of our local unions. So what is a union? I've been talking about unions this whole time. Dean's been talking about unions. A union is an organization that represents the collective interests of workers. We help workers unite to negotiate with employers over wages, hours, benefits, and other working conditions. Our union, the United Brotherhood of Carpenters, was started back in 1881 by Peter J. McGuire in the Philadelphia area. A bunch of carpenters, like himself, were not getting treated equally by their employers. The carpenters knew that they had skills that couldn't be replaced by just anybody. The carpenters realized their power by saying to their employers that they were not going to continue to work for them unless they got treated better. They ended up not going to work because their employers thought they were bluffing, and at the end of it, the employers said that we need you guys to come back to work. We will give you what you need, just come back to work. So that was the beginning of a collective bargaining agreement, or a CBA.
The workers knew their worth and they demanded that they have it before they gave their knowledge and experience with their trade. And still to that day, we do stand by that. The employees or our union members have fought for a fair wage in the end, and they know what they are worth, and they have to get valued. Our collective bargaining agreements outline the minimum wage that the employer can pay them, as well as multiple other things that are within our members' rights that people fought for. If you're working construction on a non-union job site, there's going to be times where the employer doesn't give you certain things, and there's nothing really to back you unless it's a Saskatchewan labor law coming from the labor board. Our union members are covered by their contract, and us as business representatives have authority over the employers to make sure that that contract is being covered and you guys are getting everything that was fought for and agreed upon. Local 1985 is our carpenter and scaffolder local in the province of Saskatchewan. We have approximately 1,000 members. We work in potash mines, coal plants, oil refineries, and some commercial locations. Local 1985 has been around since the year of 1985. We used to have multiple different locals in Saskatchewan, but they all amalgamated and merged in 1985, and we adopted the new name instead of taking the name of one of the prior locals. Local 1021 is our mill rate local in the province of Saskatchewan. The term mill rate is more technically known as an industrial mechanic. That is what Sask Apprenticeship does term a mill rate as. You would get a Red Seal ticket as an industrial mechanic. They also do a lot of welding, but typically the mill rates are industrial mechanics with a CWB welding ticket. They do recruit people that are Red Seal welders, but those people are required to become millwrights as well and go through another apprenticeship to become a millwright. They have approximately 300 members. They also work in potash mines, they work in power generation, refineries, and agriculture. There has been an extremely high demand for millwrights in Saskatchewan, Manitoba, Alberta, British Columbia for the past few years, to the point where we're not able to fill some of our job calls because we don't have enough millwrights. Very, very high demand for them. And a lot of their work is warranty work, and it is very fine mechanical work. Great for people that like tinkering with smaller stuff and building engines and motors and that kind of thing. If you are a heavy duty mechanic and you decide to become a millwright, there is some of your hours can be used towards your mechanic, industrial mechanic. So there is similarities between those two trades. The union dues I talked a little bit about before when we were watching the video. An initiation fee is a one-time fee. It ranges from $40 to $200. If you join us as a first year in whatever trade you are, it will be $40. If you become, for example, a third-year millwright and then join the millwright hall, it would be $40 times 3 years or $120. If you are a journeyman by the time you decide to join the union with us, it will be $200. Monthly union dues are $25 per month, and then there's also working dues that would come off of your paycheck that go straight to the union for different expenses that we have, and they are tax deductible. We do have a really good health and welfare plan through both of the locals, 1985 and 1021. It is for yourself and your spouse and your children. We have amazing vision coverage and dental coverage. We also have really good supplementary coverage, which includes the chiropractor, massage therapist, and multiple amounts of other things. It is based on the amount of hours that you worked for a contractor. The carpenters have a pension plan and the millwrights have a group retirement savings plan. So they are different depending on which local you belong to, which also depends on what trade you do get into. But they're both very good plans set up for your retirement in the future. Dean did touch base with apprenticeship a little bit there. So we are strong believers in training because we are union, and that's safety training and trade training or apprenticeship training. We strongly agree with giving our members and our workers the tools to succeed in their trade, in life. We have leadership training as well as trade training. Safety training. We are big believers in training because without proper training, people can't do what they're expected to do. I also talked about the apprenticeship reimbursement or the training perks that kind of come with being a union member that you're not going to see in the non-union world. One of those training perks is we do have an international training center in Las Vegas. You do get the opportunity to go there when you are a third-year apprentice at any of our trades, and then twice when you're a journeyman, you'll get the opportunity to go there. And there are other opportunities if you've been in the union for a long time. There are other opportunities that could come up that will get you a chance to go to this amazing, beautiful center. Obviously, with COVID right now, nobody has been going there, but it is an absolute amazing building, and a lot of members have taken advantage of that and done some amazing training there. We do also have training centers in Regina, Saskatoon, and Winnipeg, and that's where most of our training happens in regards to safety training and that kind of stuff. The apprenticeship training, if you are a millwright or a carpenter, you're going to be going through Sask Polytech. If you are a scaffolder, you're going to be coming to either Regina or Saskatoon to our facility. So what's in it for you to become a member of the United Brotherhood of Carpenters in Saskatchewan? We have access to training at no cost out of pocket, the health benefits and the pension, or RSP if you're a millwright. Collective bargaining agreement. I talked about that agreement between the workers and the employers. Equal pay. All of the first-year apprentices for a specific trade get paid the same. That is a minimum wage that you have to get paid. They can give you perks and pay you above that if they want to, but there is a base minimum wage for first year, second year, third year, fourth year journeyman. They cannot pay you below the wage that you are. There's social activities a few times a year for you and your family. You get the right to vote on internal items. We have committees built up within our union that make decisions and act on certain things. You have the right to vote on those people that are in those committees and in those positions, and you also have the right, after you've been a member of the union for a while, to run for one of those positions. And then the international organization, I talked about that a little bit during the video. You have the ability to work in other provinces or to even transfer into other provinces. If you join in Saskatchewan and move to BC in 3 years, you have the option to transfer over to the BC local, and all of your training goes with you. You're still within the same organization, you're just living in a different province.